You know that feeling when you're trying to do something nice and it just goes completely spectacularly wrong? We've all been there. Well, it turns out the 13th century poet Rumi wrote what might be the ultimate story about that exact feeling. It's this brilliant little parable that shows how kindness can, believe it or not, turn into cruelty when we just stop listening.
So this whole story really hinges on a pretty uncomfortable question, one we don't usually like to think about. Can a good deed, a genuinely well-meaning gesture, actually end up causing serious harm? Rumi's parable basically screams, yes, absolutely. Okay, let's dive in. The story starts, and this is key, not with some evil villain. No, it starts with something way more relatable, a good person trying to do the right thing. He's got a plan, his heart's in the right place, but, well, that plan is a total train wreck waiting to happen.
So, meet our main character. He's a man who's deaf. And when he finds out his neighbor is sick, his first thought is, I have to go visit. But right away, there's a huge problem, right? How is he supposed to have a conversation, a real one, if he can't hear a thing? Especially since a sick person is probably speaking very, very softly. And you gotta understand what's driving him. It's not just pure altruism. It's that pressure, social etiquette, that little voice in your head that says you should do this. It's the guilt of not being a good neighbor that's pushing him to figure out a solution. Any solution. So, what's his big idea? Well, it's a workaround. Instead of trying to find a way to actually understand, he decides he's just gonna guess. Yep. He figures he'll watch the neighbor's lips and basically write the entire conversation in his head before he even walks through the door.
And look at this. It's not just a vague idea. He has a whole script worked out, a step-by-step plan. Step 1, I'll ask this. It'll probably say that. Then I'll say this. The whole thing is built on a house of cards made of pure assumption. And yeah, you're going to want to remember this little script, because it's about to go spectacularly wrong.
All right, now for the main event, the visit itself. This is where that nice, neat little plan smacks right into the messy wall of reality. We're getting to the heart of the story now, where everything goes off the rails.
Okay, so he walks in, sticks to the plan, asks his first question, how are you? He's looking at the neighbor's lips move, and in his head he hears exactly what he expected to hear. Oh, I'm going better. But that is not what the neighbor said. The sick man actually whispered, I'm dying. And our guy, totally clueless, just follows his script. He smiles, all cheerful, and says, what wonderful news, thank God. I mean, can you even imagine? You've just told someone you're dying and they're celebrating. For the sick man, it's instant proof. This guy isn't a friend. He must be an enemy.
But the deaf man? He has no idea. He just moves right on to step 2. So, what have you eaten? He's expecting an answer like soup or broth. But the neighbor, who is now just completely gutted and angry, spits out one word, poison. And he just keeps going, steamrolling ahead with the final question, and which doctor is taking care of you? The sick man has had it. He just says, Azrael, as in the angel of death. But our hero, still stuck in his own little world, hears what he wants to hear, a doctor's name, and delivers the final blow. Ah, what a blessed doctor.
And just like that, the visit is over. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because we see the same exact event through 2 totally different sets of eyes, 2 separate realities born from the same 5-minute conversation. So, let's look at the deaf man first. As he walks away, he's feeling great. He's thinking, nailed it. I did my duty, I was a great neighbor. He is completely 100% unaware of the absolute train wreck he just caused. Meanwhile, back in the house, the sick neighbor is just devastated. He's hurt, he feels betrayed. To him, this wasn't some awkward misunderstanding. No, this was clear proof. My neighbor hates me. He actually wants me to die. And that's the pivot point. This is where you realize, oh, this isn't just a funny, sad story about a mix-up. Rumi is using this whole scenario to point out something really fundamental and, frankly, kind of flawed about all of us. See, the story isn't really about being deaf. Deafness is just a metaphor. The real target is that thing we all do. We run on assumptions. We build these entire movies in our heads based on what we think is happening instead of what is happening. It's basically the 13th century version of getting a one-word text, completely misreading the tone, and creating a whole soap opera in your head that has zero to do with reality.
It's like Rumi is giving us a checklist for bad thinking. And the deaf man? He ticks every single box. He's leaning on his own limited ideas, relying on what he already believes, making up a whole story, and then jumping to the conclusion that he's a hero, all without a single second of real, thoughtful consideration.
And this all leads to this really powerful idea Rumi talks about, the idea of hidden sins. What are those? They're things that look virtuous on the surface. I mean, visiting a sick friend looks great, right? But underneath, they're hollow, they're empty, and they can even be harmful because there's no real connection. It's just going through the motions. It's goodness based on a complete fantasy.
So what's the bottom line here? What's the real cost of living in our own heads like this, of letting our assumptions run the show?
Rumi lays it out for us in one absolutely heartbreaking line from the poem. He says, 10 years of friendship were just shattered, gone, in one visit. And not because of some big fight or act of malice, no. It was destroyed by simple, unchecked guesses. The price we pay for assuming is our connections with other people.
And really, that's the lesson, isn't it? We've all heard that saying about the road to hell being paved with good intentions. Rumi would probably say, yeah, and the foundation is made of assumptions. Real kindness or real connection, that takes more than just good intentions. It takes the effort, the actual hard work of shutting up and truly listening.
So the story kind of leaves us with a question to ask ourselves. We might not be physically deaf, but where are we being deaf in our own lives? In what conversations are we just waiting to deliver our pre-written lines? What assumptions are you making, maybe even today, that are stopping you from really truly hearing what someone else is trying to tell you?